Game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. It's 1 win apiece. We're moving now into one of the more new maps here, as we've got some excitement coming for you. The new maps, I mean, it's technically new in a way, but it was actually designed over in Age of Empires 2 way back when. This map is called Gold Rush, and what's exciting about it is that there are technically 3 resources in Age of Mythology. There's 4, but there's technically just 3 natural resources in Age of Mythology. And Gold Rush says on the outside ring of the map, you're going to get wood. On the next ring of the map, you're going to get hunt and food. In the middle of the map, you're going to get gold. And it's also, because of that, the town centers spawn really close together. It's a super exciting map. I'm really excited to see what players come up with. I have a feeling it's going to be really, really rush heavy, but not 100% sure exactly how it's all going to go. While we've got a moment, while the players are all getting warmed up and ready to click that green up button, talk a little bit about these stats over here. Momo, for the most part, he's known for his Hades plays, known for his defensive plays, known for his 2 town center grabs and focusing on macro, winning the late game. I don't see too often him doing crazy micro strats with like Anubites, Centaurs, or playing like Norse with a whole bunch of micro. It's really, really strategic based. When I say strategic based, he plays one strategy, which is boom to the late game and win there. That's why his strategy is a little bit low. Experience a little bit low. He is one of the more newer age players as well. So hasn't played that many tournaments. His speed, pretty quick. He can get around the map, do everything he needs to do. And his god depth a little bit low. I think that's something that's going to be hurting him in this tournament here, because he just doesn't have that many gods available to him. But we'll see how it's all going to be going now as we launch in to game number 3. Spawning in the right side of the map in the blue color, playing as Oranos. His name is Momo. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Loki. His name is Shelty. Shelty the Wise, Shelty the Great. Shelty, if he can recognize it, could have gone for a triple ox cart start here. And by a triple ox cart start, I mean 1 ox cart on this location would have meant no need for an ox cart for the gold mine, no need for an ox cart for the wood, and no need for the ox cart for, obviously you need one for all of them, but you just need the 1 ox cart, so no need to build a second one. But Shelty doesn't go for that in this game. We're seeing Shelty going for all the Norse gods first in this tournament. A little bit interesting to see him going down that route. I wonder if it's because of the maps or if it's just because this is what he feels most comfortable with. Shelty, in my opinion, while he is known as a Norse main, he is actually a random god player at heart. He plays every single god to a really high level. He'll play all the Egyptians, he'll play all the Greeks, he'll play all the Atlanteans and have a really, really good time with them. But the other thing that he is known for, and he did this way back in Champions League Season 2 or Season 1, I believe, he played the Norse gods way back then. Everyone thought they were super weak then. They weren't. They weren't. And he got to the semifinals and dropped and won 2 games out of the 5 against Chemo in that series. And if you haven't seen that series, I recommend you to go back and watch it, because absolute cracker. You'll go back and watch it and be like, man, if Shelty just played it just slightly differently, he would have been able to dethrone Chemo and prove to the world that Norse is a civilization to be feared. Way back in the year 2000 or something like that, maybe even 2019. I can't remember when we did it, but we'll see how things are going to go. We do have the Oranos here for Momo. Now, recently, I've been of the opinion that this matchup I used to kind of think was a little bit funky for the Oranos, kind of like a little bit difficult to play. But recently, I've been finding that Oranos wins this matchup more so than not with a double military academy opening. Now, there are a couple of other strategies which Loki can do that you do have to be aware of. One such strategy is the Heimdall rush. Soup will tell you about that at length. If you sit down with him over a cup of hot pumpkin soup, he'll tell you all about how Heimdall is our Lord and Savior, and Undermine is the meaning of life. But this is Shelty, and Shelty's got a very different style. So he's going to be going for Hall of Thanes most likely here. So we'll see how it all ends up going. As I like this play here from Shelty. This is where the experience comes from. This is Shelty having played thousands of games, and he moves out onto his secondary hunt here, and he's like, I'm going to eat this, and I'm going to move back into my main base and eat this hunt underneath my main town center. And this is going to change the course of the early game quite drastically here, as Prometheus has been clicked up for Momo, and Shelty is going to be getting up to the next age through Forseti not too far later, but he's going to be completely fine in this game against anything that Momo's going to do. So we'll see what Momo's strat's going to be here. Now, we all know that Oranos doesn't take much macro skills, much strategic decision making. However, that's at like the 1700 level. As you start progressing higher and higher with Oranos, the kind of decision making of like when to train units, when to build a town center, what unit composition to go for, all of these things start becoming a very real thing. And I'm interested to see if Momo is going to be deciding to do this or not. You can actually see he's got a villager already over here. He's got the villager on this wood line over here chopping down wood. He's got himself 147 wood here. And the real play is, what you do is when you hit the next age, you drop a military barracks and you put this villager onto the Orok here. As you see one military barracks going down. Will we see the second one or not is the big question. As the Promethean offspring do get deleted, they're going to be moving across the map, immediately going after those villagers there. As some Hersa coming over here to start defending this location. In the main base here, we see double military academy here for Momo. I love this play. I think this is exactly what you should be doing from the Oranos perspective against Forseti. It really, really makes life hard for the Loki player, because it means they have to play very, very differently. Effectively, what you need to do is wait until you see throwing axemen. As soon as you see throwing axemen, then you start making your counter barracks. You can throw the counter barracks down a little bit earlier, but effectively you basically have to wait until throwing axemen, and then you start going for the Termite to deal with those. But this is going to be a scary situation here for Shelty. I'm interested to see what he's going to do to attempt to counter it, because honestly, I don't know myself, because you really can't go for pure Hersa against pure Murmillo. We'll see how it's all. We'll still see how it's all going to go now, as Momo starting to move across the map here with his Murmillo heroes. There's plenty of Hersa here for the moment here, as Momo's a little bit slow to get across the map. All those Hersa already out. We've got ourselves 7 Hersa here. Hall of Thanes on the way already. Maybe too early on the Hall of Thanes. It might end up biting him in the bum, as the units are going to be retreating back. We see the spy is down. Shelty's going to notice that it's only Murmillo here, and he might make a decision right now to move away from pure Hersa here, or not. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. As the Hersa now moving down to the bottom of the map. One thing that I think that Loki players might want to start doing against Oranos is actually spying one of the citizens in the main base to see where the buildings are, or going for a scout with the Ulfsark kind of early to see what buildings get dropped down, to decide whether or not you go for Hall of Thanes or you just go for a double longhouse throwing axeman opening. With Hersa obviously it's attached to it. As the villagers over here getting pulled off of the hunt, as the Hersa are moving forward, searching around the map for a villager to kill. Still no villagers to kill, as Momo decides, he doesn't need to hunt here at all. He's making a really, really good assessment of the situation, as the Murmillo do push in here, take down a troll as the unit's coming over to try and push these ones back. We do have the town center to help out. The unit's going to be pulling away. So long as no units here die for Shelty, he's going to be really happy to take those fights, because you can drop down a healing spring. As the micro happening over here, we see one Murmillo picked off, as Shelty going to be pulling back for the time being here. Not ready to take this fight. We've got ourselves 8 Murmillo to 8 Hersa. So obviously not a great fight for those Hersa Hersa there, as we also see Valor getting dropped in onto that position there, as well as the Murmillo pushing around. Yet again, we see some more Hersa coming through here, looking for something to raid, but there is still, there's just no units out on the middle of the map just yet for Momo. He's happily eating all of the cows in his main base, as Shelty going to finish up on these Aurochs over here. There's plenty of food down the bottom of the map as well, as we do see the Hersa coming through here, the Murmillo trying to come in and surround these Hersa. They're a little bit too quick though, 5.72 speed compared to the 5.28 speed of Momo, or 4.95 of those Murmillo, as the Murmillo coming back over here to take down the tower here, could potentially take down their house as well. You got to really like the building positioning here of Shelty here, as he's all these houses are in a nice safe place. We see the dwarves going to be peeling off of that gold mine, coming back to the back location over here. The Hersa coming over here trying to pick off villages on the berry bushes and everything else. Momo does have himself husbandry here, and does he also have that? He does also have a super early Heart of the Titans here. As the Hersa coming over here, they pick off a whole bunch of units. We do see a Shockwave onto this position as a one villager going down. The rest of these villagers are going to pull back into the main base here and jump onto the cows, most likely. As the Iron Yard getting some good damage over here, we do see the Hersa going to be retreating back. Watchtowers on the way here, as Shelty is deciding to go for a semi-fast heroic. He gets the Watchtowers up. The units have to retreat back. This tower will be a target though, as now Shelty is able to advance to the heroic age. He doesn't have himself husbandry just yet, but he will be able to hit a very terrifying heroic age time here in this game. Momo, on the other hand, getting closer and closer to 115 population, needs to start getting his upgrades, needs to start getting to the next age here as well. One of the big counters to Mass Hersa is Stymphalian Birds, because it allows the Oranos player to deal with those myth units with Stymphalian Birds, which don't have a good counter there, as the temple is going to be getting taken down over here. We see the Murmillo getting pulled back as the temple does end up falling here. We see another temple coming up. Will he get it up in time? Looks like he will, 80% of the way through. Nice try from Momo to deal with that one, but he's not going to get the rewards which he so deserves there. His unit's going to be pulling back. We do see a relic here that has been left. An incredibly useful relic here is the Kopesh of Horus, as these villagers are going to get spotted here. Shelty not paying attention just yet. He will be pulling back in time, it seems, as the Murmillo coming in onto this position here. Do we see any upgrades coming through just yet? Looks like we don't have the vitally important copper mail from both players just yet in this matchup. But Thea has been able to get clicked here by Momo, as he is playing this one very nicely here. As the battle ball starting to move forward, we see the Murmillo trying to come in here. The throw and axeman on the back starting to come in for Shelty, as well as he realizes it's going to be a very important unit to include in his army here. Is he getting them out of that? No, he's just going full Hersa, and he's going to be leaving his base, going straight after the main base of Momo. Momo's got himself watchtowers. He's got himself copper mail coming through as well. They are 55% of the way through. Will these Hersa be able to kill this town center off fast enough or not is the big question, as Momo has not defended his base that well just yet. As the Hersa do come through, it's 101 population. We see an Iron spawn here for Shelty, as well as the units coming through. Will we see the flaming weapons getting dropped here or not, as the battle ball coming through onto this position here? Momo's got himself 40 favor in the bank to make Stymphalian Birds here as well. He's got himself not quite enough food to get himself heavy infantry. So there is a big advantage here for Shelty if he wants to turn around and take this fight. As he does decide to turn around, the battle ball will have to push in. Flaming weapons getting dropped here, as Momo continuing to take this fight here. He's going to be retreating now. And maybe I think Shelty could have just thought about clicking that a little bit closer to the base, as the army here of Momo pulling all the way back here. We will be seeing a bit of a nice surround onto this position here. No armor upgrades for Shelty, but the battle ball is going to be doing a lot of damage. It's going to be giving a lot of favor over to Shelty, as he now needs to start thinking about, even after this fight, if he wins this fight hard, it's not game over. Axe of Muspel coming through here for the time being, cleaning up all of those units. Why didn't Momo just continue to run there? Set 108 population for Shelty now in this game. He's got full control of this gold mine. There's still 860 gold on the back. The military barracks is going to be getting torn down here, as they're getting cleaned up everywhere on this location. We see the watchtowers going down. Another military barracks coming down over on this location over here, as the Stymphalian Birds able to take down one one of those thrown axemans. Actually, Muspel not in just yet. The battle balls getting taken down though, as Shelty pushing straight into the main base, trying to take down the citizen as best as he possibly can. 2 mountain giant spawns here though for Shelty. He's going to help him so much to take out this town center, as they're both tasked onto this. We do see this. Look at the damage coming through from the Stymphalian birds though, as the towers coming out, the villagers getting cleaned off of this gold mine here, as well as the Ursa. I mean, we got a troll spawning, which might be a huge deal to take out those Stymphalian birds. Shelty here, he's got himself 90 of 115 population. He does manage to take down the town center. Oh no, does he? Does he? 60 HP. Shockwave coming through, and Momo manages to hold on to his town center. Somehow, some way, ladies and gentlemen, it sits alive with 200 HP against 2 mountain giants and a battle ball there. Somehow, some way, Momo still alive in this game after that fight here. Shelty has to retreat back. He's onto these boar over here. He's over on this gold mine. It's got the Oracle Scout here. The unit's going to be scattering back here. He now has to be incredibly scared about Momo, who is going to be having Stymphalian birds flying around the map. I think definitely a hill fort here, if he can afford it, would not go astray on this position. But he does have himself 5 throwing axemen, which should be enough to deal with a Stymphalian bird plus the troll here, as well as we see the Oracle getting taken down on that location. Shelty pulling over here. What is he going to do is the big question. We now got the raid coming in onto this food location over here, as Momo realizes, yeah, it's time to go, time to get some attacks going on. Villagers moving to the middle of the map now, going after that large gold mine here, as the villagers are going to turn around, start shanking down. But with the Stymphalian bird here, Shelty will have to retreat back into his base. He does have watchtowers here and the like. One thing that Shelty could consider doing here is go full Loki. I call it full Loki because what it means is you put every single unit onto a gold mine, and then you just build a market and trade for the rest of the game. It gives you a really big secondary power spike of some description there, as now the throw-in axemen coming through, going to be targeting down those Stymphalian birds incredibly quickly here. Going to try and take those out as the battle ball swinging through. You're going to get onto those Archers, trying to claim that Hesperus tree for himself. He's got a lot of gold in the bank that he wants to use at this point, as both those Stymphalian birds going down, those throw-in axemen doing so much damage now, still not able to control that Hesperus tree. Send all the units over there. Frost Giant coming through now for Shelty, as the pain is not quite over for Momo in this game, as now the Dryad's getting trained out. Shelty's at 114 or 115 population. This Stymphalian bird over here not doing a whole lot. Villagers pop out over here. They can come over onto this gold mine if they so choose, or literally anywhere on the map. And in that moment, Momo decides to tap out. That was so insanely close by Momo to hold on against that Loki pressure from Shelty, but he just does not manage to stay alive and stabilize. Maybe lost too many citizen in the process of that attack and didn't get any real citizen kills as a revenge there. And that was it. What an insane game. Shelty going for a really, really good strategy here. That semi-fast heroic is the tried and true Loki strategy. Momo trying to be relatively creative to deal with it, but he just couldn't make it work in the end of the day. GG. Well played by Shelty. Gets 2 wins here. We're going to go on to game number 4 very shortly. If you're enjoying this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.